So hey guys, this is daily brief by me, really economic update or macroeconomic update. As of now, I can see that India, U.S. government has strongly criticized, or basically Trump has strongly criticized Indian government for importing oil from Russia. But India has also countered back that U.S. also imports a lot of things from Russia, like uranium and all those stuff. So they have been a tussle between the two countries. And if you see the US conditions, US can't stop countries like China, which import a lot of oil from countries like Iran or even Russia, where US restricts things because China has a lot of leverage when it comes towards the trade wars. China is a much larger economy. China also manufactures and basically has a monopoly when it comes towards things like rare earth. So when you have that kind of influence, you even US can't basically have a direct fight trade war with China to some stages, or basically threaten China to beyond a certain level, because China has a strong influence on rare earth materials, and China has put several restrictions on rare earth materials. And rare earth materials are things which are used by US military to manufacture some of its weapons, and even very complex weapons such as F-35 and all those stuff. So rare earth materials are quite important for United States, and even some electronic items are, or even some AI robots are need basically rare earth materials as such. And China has monopoly on them, and China has put restrictions because of the current trade war which Trump has led. And basically this gives China some form of leveraging power to do better negotiation compared to India. So there are chances that several manufacturing companies may not like India to shift, because they still see that China is at a much more better situation because of its strong negotiating power. And also you have Vietnam and Bangladesh, which have as of now lower tariff rates, so they have a competitive edge when it comes to its exports to United States. So there are chances that conditions are that India's manufacturing sector are going to get hit from these three factors when it comes to exports. So this is going to hit Indian economy quite hard. Also, there is a sense like a lot of IT companies are in India are also facing a lot of pressure from things like AI, as you know that a lot of low end or even a lot of tasks like BPO and even IT services which were provided by Indian companies are now being replaced by AI by US corporates. So that AI effect is also going to hit hard in the Indian IT sector or Indian service sector in the coming future. And looking at the US situation, also US economy is also not doing quite well, I guess, or will not do well in the near future, as you know, because US government has put in a lot of tariffs, which is going to again hit the Indian consumer hard, and also indirectly the Indian corporate US corporate companies. So there will be decline in US consumer decline, or basically the revenue of corporate companies from is going to decline, which is going to hit their cash balance sheet hard, due to this, which they might be not be much interested in giving IT contracts to to the Indian firms. So that weak baseline at US level is going to hit India's IT sector as well as India's manufacturing sector as well. And looking at the US economy, there will be a lot less investments in US manufacturing sector, and a lot more companies are going to leave the US manufacturing, because as you know, several complex secondary products are being made by United States, such as airplanes. US does not manufacture very primary products like shoes, or even uh, clothes, or even very aluminium or some other stuff which are quite primary in when you are making complex products like airplanes. US government basically imports some of those primary products, and primary products are being imported because they are cheap. They are because they are cheaply available in several countries like China, Vietnam, and other countries. Because and those things are cheap because they are being manufactured by cheap labor which is present over there. You can't manufacture primary products like steel or aluminium in United States at a cheaper rate, because the labor cost is quite high. So there is very low chance that manufacturing is going to happen, or even primary manufacturing is going to happen in the United States. Most of the products which US corporate companies manufacture is secondary, and which secondary, and this is the reason, and because they are manufacturing those secondary products like airplanes, they can afford basically US labor cost as well. And as of now, and even today, and US also manufacturing faces several challenges like higher environmental cost. As you know, several of those manufacturing industries, if are going to shift to the US, they may face environmental challenges, or environmental laws are going to challenge them, because they do a lot of pollution in existing countries where they are present, like China, where environmental laws are quite less strict. So this is as this also gives companies pressure. This also puts a lot of US companies under pressure to not to put their factories in the United States, and existing companies, factories which basically manufacture those secondary products like aircrafts, have to import their components at a higher rate because of tariffs, which is going to basically impact their manufacturing capability of these products like airplanes. So US is going to US manufacturing sector is going to decline because US this is going to make US more incompetent when it comes towards the manufacturing systems as such. And Trump does not have any form of plan. He's just blindly putting tariffs here and there, which is going to impact the US manufacturing sector as well. Oil prices are slightly down today, which may almost by 1%, which may help reduce inflation, which may be good for the economy in the long run as well. AI impact is going to see in the long run as such, which is going to hit in the Indian IT sector hard as well. A lot of manufacturing, I think, is US China is going to, as of now, my current update, China is going to hit using its manufacturing setup and using its export base. It's going to hit the US and Indian economy quite badly as of now. And also when it comes towards aluminum prices, it has slightly risen by almost 0.3%, which shows that there has been some rise in industrial demand. I think there has been some rising stability in the economy. The reason also why gold prices have also gone down, which shows that there has been some form of stability in the economy, because now Trump tariff saga has basically slightly been stabilized, because now Trump has put all the tariffs and now things are settling down. So there may be once again things may normalize again, and a lot of investors might sell gold and basically again focus on their own businesses as such. So the reason why gold prices have gone down in the long run, gold prices I think may go rise up, because now there has been some slow decline of slow decline of the trust which countries had on US dollar. So a lot of central banks are buying gold. This is also a case you can check. Also, there's the reason there has been some rise in US bond yields as such. Even today, there has been slow rise in US bond yields, which is going to just shows that many countries are not trusting in the US government bonds, because the debt on US is quite high. Debt to GDP ratio is on quite high. Also, in case of Indian currency, as you can say, last few days Indian currency has gone weaker against the United States. Although today Indian uh, currency value did fell down, but you should check the graph. The way it is quite unusual. It shows that Indian government is deliberately trying to basically control the prices. In the long run, US currency is becoming more stronger compared to the Indian rupee, which again puts the pressure on RBI to not to cut interest rates, despite low inflation number which has come. And on the other hand, US Fed is also not cutting interest rates. So unless and until US Fed cuts interest rates, Indian currency becomes more stronger. There are very low chances that Indian government may cut interest rates, because they have to face pressure from the strengthening dollar as well. And overall, a lot of cash is going to flow in the Indian economy. But where do you think the US Indian investors are going to invest? There's no place much left. Although some tech-based companies, basically specifically working in the field of AI, or even data centers, may see a rise in funding, because there is no place where you can invest otherwise, as such, even energy sector. But currently, looking at the state of the economy, it's I don't have much future expectations as of now. So this was my daily update. Thank you.